The right choice starts with the right information. That's why McLaren offers ER wait times online. Now, if you or a loved one needs care for a non-life-threatening illness or condition, you can go online to check wait times and even check in to save your spot, all from the comfort of home. Skip the uncertainty. Know before you go. McLaren Emergency Services. Your care is our commitment. View current wait times at mclaren.org/ER.
At Lansing Community College, I'm learning for my future. LCC offers 1- and 2-year pathways to careers in healthcare, IT, manufacturing, and other professional trades. More than 500,000 professional trades jobs will need to be filled in Michigan by 2026. So I know I'm learning for a great career. I belong at LCC. You belong here too. Visit lcc.edu/youbelong and enroll today.
It's the Sunday Chronicle on Stacks 92.1. It's the Sunday Chronicle. We gon' give the news and keep you up to date. From crimes to the politics, you gon' know what's up around your way. We give 2 thumbs up to everyone out here doing their thing. We gon' show mad love to all the ones working hard in communities. It's the Sunday Chronicle.
Good morning and welcome to the Sunday Chronicle. I'm your host, Yanice Jackson, coming to you from Stacks 92.1 FM. This is the platform for community because community knows what community needs. I'd like to thank all my listeners for joining us again bright and early on a Sunday morning. Thank you to all our readership and followers. We would not be here without you. And I also would like to thank my co-host, Fan. Thank you for being here yet once again.
You're more than welcome. Sorry I missed one of the ones before, but life be lifing. Life and hard.
Life
Thick and veiny and painful.
Life definitely be lifing, my friend. Yes, I definitely second that one. Because I'm telling you, life been lifing on my right knee. I don't know what is going on with that thing, but I am going to check on that.
Yeah, I saw you working your way down the hallway. I was like, uh-oh.
Right, I have too much vacationing. I just, shouldn't have did that Macarena so hard. No.
I mean, a Macarena injury? Why am I actually laughing like I think it's possible?
Because I'm getting old.
Oh, man, Yanice, we got to go to work. We got to figure this out.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Anyways. I'm sorry, y'all. I just went on a rant. So, my guest here today, Tony.
Yes.
From T&G Consulting. Tell me a little bit about why you are here today.
I'm here in the hopes that I can ignite some conversation around the plight of folk with criminal records in the community and the barriers they face.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about the consulting agency because, we have it in the newspaper and, that was the first thing that kind of, it was just circling in my head and I just wanted to kind of ask a few questions about that. Tell me a little bit about it.
Absolutely. So it was birthed out of I want to say necessity. I left a nonprofit I had worked at for a lot of years and built up. When I left, I was co-executive director, and I left partly because it was time to go and partly because I wanted to work in more parts of the movement. And when you're working for one nonprofit, you're kind of just working for that one nonprofit. Mm-hmm. And so I wanted to support more nonprofits as they worked in the policy space to reform the criminal legal system here in the state of Michigan.
So it gives you more flexibility. Are you kind of doing stuff in the same capacity, or have you been able to broaden like the different things that you do with each org?
Yeah, for the most part, I do policy work, but it depends on what the nonprofit needs, right? I'm kind of the handyman at some of the nonprofits. Some of them, I'm strictly focused on policy, but some of them, I'm really just a handyman. I do whatever they need to support them.
When you say policy, what do you mean for our listeners? They understand the full scope of what you do.
Absolutely. So when I talk about policy, I'm talking about the laws that kind of surround us at all times. And as it goes to the criminal legal system, I'm talking about the penal laws, and I'm talking about the absence of laws that could help folks. So when I say policy, for the most part, I'm talking about the legislative branch of government and local as well, right? As we think about local levels as well, ordinances. Yep.
Okay, so when you talk about these different laws and things, do you go through and learn them yourself, or do you have like a legal person to kind of walk you through things, or, you know, when you're in regards to policy and changing it?
Absolutely. And so for the most part, you can read, if there's a law in place that we think is harmful, you can kind of go and read that law yourself and kind of figure out where you would like to see the changes. If you're proposing something new, then usually if it's at the state level, you'll usually have a lawmaker that'll help you, and LSB will help you as well, kind of draft out a solution to whatever the problem is you're trying to fix.
LSB? What's that?
So that's Legislative Service Bureau, and they kind of draft all the laws that we see coming out of either the Senate or the House. They're the lawyers, right? They're the experts on how laws fit together.
So when did you decide, you know, this is something that I want to do?
Well, right. I think I decided that I wanted to exist in the advocacy space as soon as I was released, right? And I seen how difficult it was just to get a job. Once I was given the opportunity to kind of volunteer for nonprofit and start organizing, I think I got kind of the bug of like, we can actually make some changes. When I decided I wanted to focus totally on policy is when I realized that most of our life is dictated by policy, right? Mm-hmm. Either the policy that exists or we suffer because there's not a policy in place to help us.
And how do you all measure your success?
I'm probably like a person that is my most harshest critic, because if we don't get it done, like Lame Duck, we kind of lost everything in Lame Duck. We didn't get anything through. And the one thing that and
tell me, and I don't mean to stop you, but tell me about Lame Duck, because, you know, everybody may not know what it is and what context you're speaking to it.
Sorry.
No, it's good.
So Lame Duck is the legislative period between once an election happens mm-hmm. and the end of that cycle. So last year we had the election, and it's for the House Representatives, right?
Okay.
So,
yes.
So after that election cycle, the period from after that election to the end of the year, usually, or sometime in December, whenever they decide to end, is Lame Duck.
Okay.
Right. And so last year we had a lot of legislation that was pending in both the Senate and the House that would have brought about some significant change, whether it's juvenile life without parole, second look. We had legislation pending around easing the barriers that people face trying to access housing with criminal records. Like, everything kind of died during that lame duck period. And what it taught me were, I learned a couple of valuable lessons for all those losses. And you asked how I measure wins. I measure wins by getting stuff across the finish line. Mm-hmm. And so we got one bill got to the governor's desk, and she vetoed it. And so that's how I measure wins. And we didn't really get a lot done last session.
What was in that bill in particular?
The bill she vetoed was a package of bills that would have made it easier for folk as they were released from prison to have all their documentations, their birth certificate, their social security card, and their state ID when they get out, as opposed to the struggle that many people face when they're released and they're trying to get an ID and they're trying to get all this done. And at the same time, they're trying to get a job, right? And you can't get a job without an ID. Right. So we kind of hamstring some folk when we release them and they don't have all their vital documentation.
When you say some folk, do you mean there's some people who actually come out of prison and have all that just naturally somehow? Well,
the Secretary of State and the Michigan Department of Corrections are on their own working together to try to get as many people their vital docs when they're released, right? So They're doing a lot better over the last 3 or 4 years, but what we want to see is we want to see something in the law that requires it, as opposed to the Secretary of State and the Michigan Department of Corrections voluntarily doing it, because leadership changes in those departments all the time. And so as leadership changes, there's a worry that they may not see this as an important issue, and then we'll have folks coming home, again, kind of hamstrung.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to talk a little bit more about your corporation. I want to dive a little bit more in just a second, but not before reminding our listeners that you're listening to the Sunday Chronicle, heard Sunday mornings on Stax 92.1 FM. This is the platform for community, because community knows what community needs.
Packages start at $29.99 a month with signed agreement. Restrictions apply. Speak to a representative for complete offer details. See Vivint.com for license details. Terms and conditions apply.
Homeowners, if you're looking for the best in home security and smart home technology at a price you can actually afford, we have great news. Now you can get Vivint's award-winning home security systems starting at about $1 a day. U.S. News and World Report has recognized Vivint as the best professionally installed home security system of 2022. And right now, you can get Vivint's home security technology for about $1 a day. Plus, get free professional installation from a licensed technician. Protect your home and loved ones for as low as $1 a day. Call right now for your free home security consultation.
800-698-7191. 800-698-7191. 800-698-7191. That's 800-698-7191.
Hi, I'm Yanice Jackson, publisher and editor of the Chronicle News, host of the Sunday Chronicle, and mom. Amongst my many titles, I've added writer to them. My new book chronicles everything I've learned along the way. So check out my book, Notes from the Trail, available on Amazon and everywhere books are sold. For more information, visit my website at www.yaniceyvette.com. And welcome back to the Sunday Chronicle. Before we went to break, we are talking to my special guest, Tony Gant, and he is with T&G Consulting. And I didn't mean to cut him off abruptly. You know, he was engaged in his story, and I was just looking at the clock for a break. So my apologies if that sounded abrupt. But I wanted to ask you to dive into why you became an advocate. We touched a little bit about on that a little earlier. You know, you have this consulting agency, you're an advocate. So tell me about the experience that led up to that. Like, what were some of the things that you dealt with after being released?
Absolutely. So just to level set, I was in prison for 20 years. And so when I was released, one of the biggest things probably that I faced was, you know, there was a huge tech barrier, right? I had no idea about things that everybody else had been dealing with for a very long time. I had never seen the internet at all. So that was my first time, like, actually trying to interface with the internet, and phones were a struggle. And I think one of the biggest barriers, besides those barriers, those are soft barriers, hard barriers, were just trying to get a job, right? And I was here in Lansing, and I'll say this was 2015. So I think things have improved, but back in 2015, I couldn't even, the staffing agencies wouldn't even, put me on their rolls. There was always an excuse. One, I had a violent offense. Secondly, they would say, well, once you get off parole, come back and see us. And so it was pretty rough. I was married, and as a result, my wife was kind of taking care of me, and she had a son already. She was taking care of the entire household, and I had absolutely no income for that first 6 months. So that was really, really, really rough. I ended up going to a place called Labor Ready. And that's here in Lansing, right? And so you go in every day and you sign in and you sit and wait and hope you get a job. And so I went there every morning, and I finally, it kind of built up. The first job was like 2 days, and then you come back and you get a job for a week, and then you get something for 2 weeks. Yeah. And I finally got a long-term temp job with Quality Dairy grocery warehouse. So I was there a little bit over a month on that temp job, and that led to a full-time job at the Quality Dairy dairy warehouse, right? Okay. You know, it's closed now. Yeah. But I started entry level there, Stayed there for, I don't know, almost 4 years. Became like the plant. I became the warehouse part of the supervisor, right? So I had the biggest contract and all that stuff.
Oh, wow,
and
okay.
I left to do my lawn care business and kind of grew that and sold that. And now I'm doing this.
Okay.
Right.
Well, you've done a lot of things, and it's encouraging to hear that. And what were some of the key takeaways from the experience, from being released up to now that you can help impart into people?
Yeah.
Or do they have to pay for that?
Wow. That sounds. No, they don't. Wow.
Did I sound like an NPR host when I asked that?
A little bit, little Terry Gross in there.
And so that's fair. That's fair. I'll say, Yancy, and I think what's important. Did I say it wrong?
Yeah. Should I correct him?
Yeah, correct me. No, give it to me.
No, I should.
Because you said Grant and it's Gant, and so maybe.
Okay, it's Gant.
It's Gant. So
okay, let's get the name.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
I'm Yanice.
Yanice. I like that better.
Yeah, that's my name, man.
I like that
better. Name. It's Yanice.
I like that. That's dope.
Yes. Okay, for everybody in Lansing, let me tell you that my name is Yanice, because there's a lot of people that call me Yanice, and I just never told them. So my name is Yanice. I'm gonna put a Facebook post up today. Yanice.
My name is Span. I can understand your difficulties. People be like, "Hey, Spam." They think they so funny. That's not it.
Is it Span or is it Rolf?
That's my Facebook name because Facebook pissed me off. I hate Facebook so much. Don't make me eat up my man's time talking about how much I hate Facebook.
Look. Okay, there we go. See, you can't get me started because you know I go off in left field.
Zuckerberg was in front of me. I had to pull all his hair out, follicle by follicle. You can afford it, Baldy.
Go buy a new hair.
Go buy you some hair. Better not be a weave either. Better hair plugs. Yeah, I want those
expensive ones.
Yeah, the ones where you're bleeding out the hair for like 9 months. I want them. Yeah, suffer. Mark Zucker. Oh, dang, I almost said the bad word.
No, you didn't say that one bad word.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
Should we tell them about that?
All right.
No,
we're not going down that road.
We're not going to do that. Okay, you got to get me focused.
So let's get back to advocacy.
Advocacy,
we got 5
yes.
minutes left.
Yes.
Advocacy, and Yanice had very indelicately asked you if there were compensation necessities for your services.
Yes, for these wonderful pearls of wisdom that I asked for. Or do we have to pay for that?
Absolutely not. I enjoy talking to y'all too. You guys have a great chemistry, and I like being in the space. And so I guess key takeaways over the last little bit over 10 years, one of the things I like to focus on, again, the barriers are difficult. They're real. They're hard. People discriminate against people with felony convictions pretty regularly. And it takes a lot of just tough skin, tenacity, willingness to walk to
And they still exist?
The barriers?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they still there. It's still legal. We're the last folk on the planet. You could just be no, because you have that conviction. We don't care.
I'm going to interrupt because there was a guest we had. Remember Takeru Nyamfukudza?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he was a lawyer, and in his pro bono time, he would advocate for people whose cases they looked over and found that they had been wrongfully convicted. And so we asked him, how many cases have you dealt with that involve police? He goes, 6. We're like, how many of them dealt with police misconduct? He turned his eyes up and thought for a second. He goes, all of them. So you talk about getting it on the front end, and now you have this conviction, even though you didn't do anything, but you're out now, and you have this fake conviction that's preventing you from getting jobs. So you stand in the gap for people who are trying to move forward with their lives out of all that.
While saying I stand in the gap is pretty heavy, I definitely I empathize with people with conviction histories, obviously because I still have one. And secondly, while I'm doing well, I know what it's like to struggle just because of it. And so I'm really passionate as it goes to the fact that we need to give people second chances. And that's why, when I was at Nation Outside, one of our primary focus would be that we won't hire folk unless they have a criminal conviction. And so the training I'm doing now is only for folk with criminal convictions. It's a paid training, and you can't get into training unless you have a criminal conviction. And kind of flipping, not necessarily, discriminating against folks that don't have a criminal conviction just because it's difficult, right? And I guess the other takeaway would be, find your tribe, right? Finding your tribe for me was crucial. Having a support network of people that know what it's like and are doing well and can give you some guidance like, hey, this might be your next step, right? This might be something you should think about doing next.
That sounded good. Okay, so how does the process work? So I come across your ad and I want to get in touch with you. So kind of walk me through that process.
See, we're back to this business part. Okay, yes, people can email me, right? They can email me.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I appreciate you promoting my business, right?
What I do? I'm trying to stay on task. Look, we only...
Why are you kicking yourself away from the microphone?
I'm sorry.
Listen.
I know this is like the 5th year, and he always has to scoop me up like I'm a toddler. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yes, thank you for promoting the business. People can email me. Most of the folks I work with are folks in the movement space that I already know. And so my skill set is pretty focused on criminal legal reform. I probably wouldn't be the best person to hire to work on environmental work. I probably wouldn't be that person. So I would say that up front. I'm probably not that person.
Okay. I won't ask about the business anymore. Okay. We're going to go back to your experience.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So, Span, I know you have a question to ask.
I do. So you've been doing advocacy work for 10 years or longer?
No, well, it depends on how you define it, right?
Well, I'm curious, what is your biggest success? What's the thing that you kind of hang your hat on? It's I did that, and this person I worked with did that, and it justifies so much of what I do.
Yeah, I think Yanice asked me a similar question. It's uncomfortable to claim success for campaigns, right? Because so many people work on those campaigns. And so what I'll say is I was part of working on the clean slate package, which has led to a lot of people being able to get their records expunged. I was part of working on the legislation on a local level you see all these local ordinances that are limiting discrimination that people with criminal records face and access to housing. I've been part of 3 of those campaigns. We're working on another one in Saginaw. It seems like it was one more thing, and I don't know. I'm drawing blanks, but yeah, I'll stick with that one.
So based on just what you've seen since you've been released, do you feel like you've seen some improvement in some of the systems for people that have been released?
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen improvement in Michigan. Most folks point to the clean slate package, and that's definitely a big improvement because before you could only have 1 felony on your record and a number of misdemeanors and now you can have up to 3 felonies or even more in some cases. And they have the automatic expungement. Some folks with low-level felonies, those records are coming off automatically. They don't have to do anything. They don't have to go to court and petition. The process is still difficult for expungement. It's still expensive if you're poor, right? If you're poor, it's hard to get an expungement without a lawyer. So there's still some work to be done around expungement from my take to make it more accessible to folk. And it still excludes a lot of people, right? A lot of people that worked on that legislation don't qualify to get their record expunged, right? So there's that irony there that people really fall really hard and they'll never get the benefit of it.
Yeah. So our time is growing near. So before we leave today, what is something you want to leave everybody with? If you could say, one last thing, just before you part?
Absolutely. People make mistakes. All of us make mistakes. It makes sense to give people a second chance or a third chance or a fourth chance, whatever folk need to become better citizens. It is better to have a tax-paying citizen than a burden. Mm-hmm. And to the extent we can create pathways for folks to become better citizens in our community, we all kind of benefit from that. We're in an era where we're always looking to other people. And so I would love to see us start seeing everybody kind of as human beings. Mm-hmm. And as we level set humanity, we understand like how fallible we all are. And that's why second chances are so important.
That's good.
Hell yeah. Thank you. My God.
I like that.
Me too.
I love it with y'all.
All right.
Y'all bring me all my professionalism just
chuckling.
Just come all the way out.
Hard. I think I detected a snort.
That might have been me.
Correct, it was Yanice. I blame Tony. My bad.
Okay. I know I'm not supposed to say with that, but with that. There you go, Span. How do you like that?
Still not. How dare you?
And with that,
oh my God.
I'd like to remind all my listeners and followers that you're listening to the Sunday Chronicle. We are talking with Tony.
Why'd you mess it up?
What? No, I ain't gonna mess your name up.
Gant.
I was going to tell you
out, and I was like, no, let's let it struggle. Let it struggle.
Okay. I was just waiting to see what he said.
Let me get that microphone.
I'm through. I can't with y'all no more. They making fun of me and stuff. I can't even do my outro with y'all. See?
Oh.
I forgot where I was at.
You're saying with that, which I asked you not to say.
I know, and that's why I'm being rebellious. Because it's that time of year. Let's blame it on Halloween. Okay, anyway. With that, this is Yanice Jackson signing out from the Sunday Chronicle, the platform for community because community knows what community needs. Make it a great day.